What's happening in Ukraine?
As well as a live look at Governor Sisolak's State of Address.
Welcome to Studio G. My name is Nik Todorovich.
And I am Anna Meza. Thank you for joining us today.
Yesterday, President Biden announced that the U.S. will be issuing sanctions against Russia as they begin invasion into Ukraine. Ukraine has moved to introduce a state of emergency. The Ukraine foreign minister has called for swift, resolute actions against Russia and for all available means to protect Ukraine. We will have more as developments come in. Justice Stephen Breyer is stepping down after more than 2 decades. Matthew Gwanga has more on what's next for the Supreme Court.
Stephen Breyer is stepping down from the Supreme Court. This still leaves the Supreme Court with a 63 conservative majority. Will President Biden's pick be a chance for Democrats to regain their momentum for the 2022 midterm elections? Stephen is 83 and was nominated by Bill Clinton in May 1994. He's the oldest justice on the Supreme Court, so his resignation will create a path for a younger justice to fill in. Joe Biden is expected to nominate a black woman, Eunice Lee, who is a circuit judge for the Second Circuit, who attended Ohio State University and Yale Law School. Ketanji Brown Jackson served as a circuit judge for the Court of Appeals for D.C., and she attended Harvard Law School. Wahemia Wright is the district judge of Minnesota and attended Yale University and Harvard Law. Candace Jackson Acme is a circuit judge for the Seventh Circuit, and she attended Princeton and Yale University. Vice President Kamala Harris could potentially be a candidate for the Supreme Court. She previously served as Senator from California, Attorney General, and was the 27th District Attorney of San Francisco. Biden has a long list of nominees can he choose from. Can he nominate someone who is capable of filling Breyer's seat and gain bipartisan support? I'm Matthew Gwanga, reporting for Studio G.
President Biden has interviewed the top 3 contenders, and an announcement is expected to be made by the end of the month.
On to local headlines. The family of Nathan Valencia, the UNLV student who passed away last November from injuries sustained in an amateur boxing match, have announced they will be taking a legal action against the university, as well as the fraternity. Student G reporter Jonathan Corral brings us the latest.
On November 19th of 2021, UNLV student and Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity member Nathan Valencia collapsed during a boxing event held by Kappa Sigma, another fraternity. Valencia died 4 days later in the hospital due to blunt force head trauma received during the fight. The Valencia family has announced they are pressing charges against the fraternity as well as the university. The family and their lawyers are claiming a lack of safety protocols, failure to provide proper equipment, and hiring an unlicensed referee. This comes after UNLV suspended the fraternity and commenced an investigation into the event. Las Vegas police confirmed they will not be pursuing any criminal charges. For more updates, stay tuned. This is Jonathan Corral reporting for Studio G.
UNLV and the Kappa Sigma fraternity have yet to make any comments about this announcement. Automobile accidents are one of the nation's leading causes of death. Studio G reporter Brianna De Leon has more.
A crash that killed 9 people last month set the record for the deadliest automobile accident in Nevada since 1991, when officials began taking track, according to the Las Vegas Journal-Review. The driver was said to have ran a red light going at 100 miles per hour. This follows 2 months after ex-Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III drunk drove and killed a 23-year-old woman at a speed of 156 miles per hour. Last year was also reported to be one of the deadliest years when it comes to motor vehicle accidents, with more than 380 fatalities, and the Nevada Department of Transportation cited more than 5,000 speeding citations of 100+ miles per hour in just 2021. Less than a week after the high-speed crash on Cheyenne Avenue and Commerce Street, another fatal accident occurred at Windmill in Torrey Pines when a driver ran a red light, according to KTNV. Matthew Kaplan, the president of the Nevada Police Union, urges drivers to take precautions when it comes to reckless driving.
I want to say to people is think about your future. It's never really worth the risk of speeding or driving recklessly to get there.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Brianna DeLeon.
Officials are urging drivers to take precautions while on the roads.
As students are returning to campus, parking may be limited. My co-host Anna Meza has more on a new parking lot for students and staff.
UNLV Parking and Transportation Services has added a new parking space over winter break for students and staff who have a current parking permit. The new addition is called Del Mar Parking Lot and is located on the corner of Maryland Parkway and Del Mar Street.
For more information about campus parking, visit unlv.edu/parking.
Governor Sisolak is delivering his state of address this coming 2 weeks after he has lifted mask mandates. Let's take a live look from Allegiant Stadium.
Follow for updates. Coming up, with wintry weather hitting our valley, Lay has the latest when you can expect our skies to clear up. Stay with us and we'll be right back.
If you're a parent, you've done it all this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. Visit boystown.org/stressedout for great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families.
Hello everyone, and good afternoon. Today I'm Lay. I'll be doing your weather for today. So as of right now, the high is going to be 51 degrees, and then the wind speed is going to be a whopping 14 miles per hour. I'm going to suggest wearing a sweater. It's going to be a little bit chilly, that's for sure. All right, and then here for the valley temperatures. Here we are in the low 44s in Summerlin and Boulder City, and all the way, the highest is gonna be 50 degrees at sunrise. Otherwise, everything's gonna be around that medium of 48 and 47. And for our weather headlines today, it's going to be lack of sunshine, it's going to be very cloudy, and like I mentioned before, it's going to have those high-speed winds that I mentioned, and then as it gets towards the night, it's still going to be very chilly. So I suggest warming up with a good bowl of good soup. All right, and then this is our evening planner. So from 3 p.m. today, it's gonna be at that high 50. And then as it gets colder, closer to the night, it's gonna go down to 40 degrees. It's gonna have that change of 10 degrees from the day to the evening. All right, and so for tomorrow morning, for that sunrise temperature, it's gonna be about 33 degrees, and the sunrise is gonna be at 6:16 a.m. It's a good time for a jog if you like the cold breeze, but not for me, I'll be in bed. All right, and then here is your 7-day forecast of the week. So from Wednesday to Tuesday, the highs are gonna be from 51, and it's gonna jump to a whopping 76 degrees on Tuesday. So get ready for that transition, and then all of our lows are gonna go from like the 32s, and then they're gonna also jump up to 50 degrees. All right, and coming up, we have a local entrepreneur who is looking out for some of the Valley's healthcare heroes. Stay with us and we will be right back.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story. because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes, you know, from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you could make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Governor Steve Sisolak is set to give his State of the Address. We have a live look.
2,300 new affordable apartments just last year. And for thousands of those families, what really matters is keeping a roof over their head or building equity in a home, but there's more to be done. That's why today I'm announcing Home Means Nevada initiative. It's a $500 million commitment to lower the cost of housing, help people stay in their homes, and create good paying jobs. The plan boosts housing construction and home ownership opportunities. It will help seniors retrofit their homes to lower their costs, improve their property, and stay where they want to be. And we're developing a new partnership with the AFL-CIO through our state infrastructure bank to help fund new housing developments. This announcement marks the single largest investment in housing in our state's history. Like housing, I know the rising cost of health care also poses serious strain on many Nevada families.
We will continue to follow for updates. Over the last 2 years, nurses worldwide have been working overtime to keep us safe during the pandemic. Today I'm joined by the founder of Fit Functional Nurses, Paonessa. Brian, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it. You did a great job.
So first of all, can you tell us about your background as being a nurse and how that inspired you to start this business?
Yeah, so I started as a personal trainer for 10 years, and I was working in New York City running some corporate wellness centers and personal training, and I just kind of heard that whisper to take the next step in my life. And to do that, I answered the call to become a nurse. So I went back to school and went back to Buffalo, New York, and Niagara Falls, where I grew up, and became a nurse. And then after going through nursing school, I came out to Las Vegas, and this is my home now.
So can you tell us your experience as a nurse? Because now I've been hearing and reading that we are having a nursing shortage. There's a National Guard going to be nurses. Why is there a shortage? Is there a bad experience, or what is it?
Well, you think about when you work and what happens when you overdo it. And my mom always says, when you burn the candle at both ends. The rewards, the incentives outside of work are not there. And you notice across the nation right now that the hourly salary that they're offering nurses just keeps going up, up, and up. And nurses have realized throughout the nation and the world that it's not about money anymore. It's about lifestyle. It's about taking care of yourself outside of work. And that's where my program, Fit Functional Nurses, comes in.
Let's talk about that program.
Sure.
What is Fit Functional Nurses? What is the business?
So Fit Functional Nurses, it's an incentive and benefit program that enhances a nurse's lifestyle outside of work. And what I do is I work with local businesses as far as retail shops, restaurants, gyms, hotels, travel to reward nurses. So it's very similar to the military discount, but it's more a specific program for nurses.
Why do you think there's never been a program like this? Military, law enforcement, first responders, they get these benefits at restaurants, gyms, like you said. Why is it taking for you to start this business for nurses to get the same recognition?
Yeah, I think nurses are more the unsung hero, if you will. You think about all of our family and friends, they go to, it's a sad thing, but they'll eventually go to the hospital. And you have nurses there that are working 12 plus hours a day taking care of our loved ones. And it just goes by the wayside that you don't recognize the nurses. And it's time to I think the whole COVID pandemic has really put a spotlight, if you will, on the nursing industry. And it's a great opportunity for me, and I've been blessed to have this happen, to take full advantage of it.
Is there anything my peers or the society in Las Vegas can do to bring more awareness to your company and nursing benefits?
Well, I think it's time I think every business in Vegas and across the world has been hit very, very hard with this pandemic, and I think it's a great way for nurses for businesses to basically to vocalize and support our nurses in our community by offering the program of FFN to give back.
Do you think in a way the pandemic helped you get like exposure for why nurses are so important. Like I feel like before this was never like even thought of, but now that we see like what COVID did to the hospitals and how much overtime the nurses worked, I feel like now we can bring it to spotlight.
I think timing is everything.
Yeah.
When you look at every aspect of your life, and I think that it just, the nursing career and what I've experienced in the last 6 years, they just start taking things away from nurses when it's like, why?
Yeah.
And I've just kind of recognized that there's more to life than punching a clock, and I just got tired of it, and I focused on this concept since 2018, and I think the COVID kind of really gave me that next step and propelled me to make this happen.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of, I want to become a nurse ambassador for my nurses instead of patients.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. And Brian, we have time for one more question. Sure. So like, how like quickly do you see yourself growing the company to the point where nurses will get the same benefits as military officials, as cops and stuff like that?
Well, this is 3.5 weeks for me. I've officially stepped out of the hospital, and that was kind of a shock to all my nurses and my managers at the hospital that I was working at. But you know, I've taken the next step in my business, and I plan on launching my program in August to have businesses on board to allow this membership program to happen. So by August, and then 2023, and I want to start it here in Las Vegas because we're all Vegas born.
Yeah.
We want to give back to the community, and then I want to launch. I want to go Arizona, Utah, California, Texas, New York. There's nurses everywhere.
Well, Brian, thank you for your time and best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
So coming up, one of the hottest boy bands is hitting the Las Vegas Strip. We have the details on who it is and when you can expect to see them. We'll be right back with more news.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes, you know, from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
A new sport may be coming to Las Vegas, and I have more on the story. Flores is accusing the NFL and 4 teams of having racist principles in their hiring process. He was fired by the Miami Dolphins even though they won 8 out of their last 9 games. Flores says that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 to lose games. After Flores became a free agent, he accused the New York Giants of not giving him a fair chance in his job interview, and he said that Denver Bronco general manager John Elway showed up to his interview hungover. He wants more fair opportunities for black coaches in the NFL.
This is bigger than football. Many have come before and done a lot to create change in this country for people of color. And I just felt like in this instance, it was my turn to step up and be an agent for change.
Flores is also suing the Houston Texans for racial discrimination even though they hired an African-American coach. He believes they made that hire because of its lawsuit against the NFL. Even though Flores is suing the NFL, he still got hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers to be their associate defensive assistant coach and their linebacker coach. And last night, MLS Commissioner Don Garber addressed the speculation surrounding Las Vegas' chances of getting the team. Even though there's nothing concrete in place, he said that there are hopes that there will be more concrete developments in the near future. Justin Bieber postponed his Justice World Tour show in Las Vegas due to testing positive for COVID-19. The pop star was set to perform Sunday night, but released a statement on Twitter postponing the show, saying he is prioritizing the health of his crew and his fans first. The Las Vegas show is rescheduled for June 28th.
K-pop group BTS announces their 4-night residency here in Las Vegas. I know all the girls are going to go crazy for this one. BTS has become really popular over the COVID pandemic. It's grown greatly in the music industry. Their permission to dance on stage will take place on April 8th, 9th, 15th, and 16th at Allegiant Stadium. The concerts will be broadcasted for a paid in-person live stream at MGM Grand, and there will also be a worldwide availability after the first night's shows. Tickets are on pre-sale now until Saturday at 5 p.m. Early 2000s Disney animated series The Proud Family is making a comeback. The reboot series centers around the Proud Family with a new animation art style and new plot lines. The show will also feature a cast of celebrity cameos such as Lizzo, Billy Porter, Keke Palmer, and Lil Nas X. The first episode of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, streams today.
So what did you think about that?
I am so excited about this. As a little girl, I love The Proud Family because it really brought representation, you know, of the Black community. And there was even a Hispanic character on there, La Cienega. She was my favorite.
So yesterday I said I didn't watch Arthur. Well, I didn't watch The Proud Family either. So I'm slacking again, you know. I got to catch up on all of this.
Oh, and guess what? We have some news about Taco Bell. Looks like Taco Bell is tapping into its sweet tooth. The fast food giant is actually bringing back the Klondike Choco Taco. For those unfamiliar with the dessert, it's a taco-shaped waffle cone. It's filled with swirls of fudge and vanilla ice cream and covered in a nutty topping. It's delicious.
The Klondike Choco Taco is now available at 20 locations in LA and Milwaukee. Although a press release from Taco Bell hints that a nationwide rollout is possible. The Klondike Choco Taco hasn't been on the Taco Bell menu since 2015, but can be found in some grocery stores. Do you like the Klondike Taco?
Yes, I do like it. I never knew that it was ever on the menu, but I'm excited to try it now that they're relaunching.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see it relaunch and everything. And Klondike and Taco Bell both have landmark anniversaries this year. Taco Bell is turning 60 while Klondike hits the Century Club, 100 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the Taco Bell and then also about the MLS team.
Yeah.
I'm glad the commissioner came out and addressed it. At least soccer's my favorite sport.
Vegas is a hot spot for sports now with like a big league soccer team coming. The owners, they own a team in England, in English Premier League. So like they'll bring like their experience and they'll probably recruit really good and get good players. And your son plays soccer. He might be on the team one day.
I really hope so. In my opinion, the Premier League soccer league is the best league in the world. Sure. So I'm glad we're bringing those experienced people here to bring that sport to Vegas.
For sure.
Well, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow at noon for more Studio G.